Here we are, Jason's asked. Today we've got an upper body strength workout for you. So this is exactly how we would train our upper body.
Yep.
So we've got 6 exercises. We're just going to show you each exercise, but we would normally, and we'll talk you through the sets and reps that we would do. So let's start us off. We've got bench press over here. So it's a really good staple exercise to build some strength in our chest, in our shoulders, and make sure that we're balanced. So you sort of give an idea of how you are bilaterally, so both shoulders, how the strength feels, trying to make sure the bar's nice and straight and feeling that even strength there. So you can normally do 5 reps if we're aiming for strength. If you want more hypertrophy, we can go for more like 10 reps, but we generally stick to 5 reps or lower depending on the weight that we're doing. So
go,
start
Jace.
off, so hands shoulder width apart, locking our shoulders in, lift up, and then we don't want our elbows to flare out, so we keep them tucked in. Lower the bar down to our chest and drive it up.
Beautiful.
So nice and controlled on the way down and press it up. So as you're getting better with it, you want to be trying to be more explosive, especially if you're someone that's training for a sport or a competition. You want to be explosive through your chest and strong through the upper body.
Yep.
So really starting to build some strength and power through that movement. So getting some strength in our pecs, strength in our shoulders, that'll be really good for if you've got to fend off or if you're in a contact sport or even if you're tennis and things like that, you need to have some strength to produce power.
Yeah,
so that's the first exercise is bench press.
Jason and I, football is so specific to, being a midfielder. We need to push and get into the position where the ball's going to land. So bench press is that explosive power, that chest strength that we're looking for.
One-on-one contest, marking contest, NFL players, you need to have strength when you're getting hit, that sort of thing, tackles, all that. So,
wrestlers, basketballers, it's important.
Yeah, so bench press is your first go-to, so you would do 4 to 5 sets of 5 reps if you're building that strength, and if you're going higher in the weight, you decrease the weight. Yep. So you're working, higher weight, lower reps, so you're working that quality of the movement.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to squat press. Size squat press, so we're squatting back down onto our heels here and then driving up onto our toes. So this is more of a full body exercise, but we're getting the strength and power in our upper body. So we're transferring from lower body into upper body. So it's getting a bit more functional, getting away from just working the chest. We're getting the core involved, we're getting the legs involved. So this is really good for any sort of athletic performance or if you are playing sport and that type of thing. So we're transferring strength from lower body to upper body, not just that isolation exercise. So we normally do this for 10 reps. But again, if you're going heavier, you can lower the weight and just work pure power and strength in these movements. So we're down, load up, and press. So you want to be really strong and explosive at the top. So that's where the bench press comes in. So we've strengthened our upper body, but this is producing that power from the lower body. Really make sure you press at the end there. Up and drive.
Look at how his whole body's connected. Come to the back here, Leo. And look at these erectors, the QL muscles, our rhomboids, everything is connected and active. We're looking really strong. Even his calves, look down at his calves as he goes into that calf raise. So it's a full body compound exercise. It's going to engage lats, traps, rhomboids, quads, hamstrings, the whole body. Which is important when we're thinking of functional movement and playing sport. We can't just isolate a muscle in sport.
Yeah, and this is exactly the way we train. So we want to be more functional. We're not just isolating, doing just sole isolation exercises. That's where the bench is good to start to build that general strength, but then to improve performance, you need it to be more functional. So definitely add in squat press. Now we're on to step press. The bar starts in one hand, that same leg starts forward, and then Darcy's going to have his other hand up in the air, and he presses. So this is really good for rotation strength. So we're starting to come around the back again here, Leo. So we can see the rotation through Darcy's torso, and he rips it through. So we're really starting to connect those slings together, which are really good for running, if you want to be a good quality runner, if you want to have power and sprinting through your sport and your performance. So this is going to really help to connect those slings up. And you might actually start to find if you've got a bit of a weaker side, there might be a bit of a disconnect. We can see here Darcy's a little bit less stable on this side. So this also gives us an indication of where he might be lacking some power in his game, or that he could potentially improve his connection through this side, which might help to improve his performance. So again, we're still working the shoulder, we're still working the chest, but we're just starting to incorporate those functional slings that start to propel us through movement.
So it's important, same foot forward as the same shoulder. So right foot, right hand, and we spring.
So we load up here.
Come through the front, look at his obliques, look at his abs, look at that opening up of that lat. You know, sometimes our postures were very stuck in a closed off, hunched position. We are reversing that. Yeah, this is the antidote to our poor postures. And it's respecting the way humans are meant to move, running and throwing, and complementing our sling patterns. Yeah, so linking up our right glute and our left lat so we can throw better, we can hit better, and we can run better in our sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
All right, let's move on to cable press. Step press, there's a couple of variations you can do this. So Darcy's going to do the step variation. So we're starting similar to that step press. So the cable's in the hand that is the leg that is forward, and then his opposite leg is stepping forward as he's pressing. Come around the front, Leo. This is the great sign of what we want to do. So you can see as Darcy loads up here, you can see that diagonal pattern through his abs. So we're not just isolating the chest. He wants to feel tension in his abs, and that pulls him through. So it's like that spring, that recoil, the ab pull through, and then the chest punches. So you still get a really good chest workout, but you're starting to connect those slings that are going to help to propel him forward and really improve his performance. So really stick that side, Darcy. That's it. So you want to be stable at the end here. So come back for a bit of a wider view. So he wants to stick that landing and then control it on the way back. So as he steps back, he makes sure that his back foot doesn't touch the ground. So his back heel, so when you're stepping back, Darcy, that's it. This back heel stays up. So he's got to really engage his glutes, engage his core to not let himself fall backwards. All right, so that's challenging the core. Imagining like in a contact sport, trying to resist getting tackled, come back this way. Like if he's got the ball, or in NFL, footy, soccer, anything that you're trying to get tackled, or someone's coming to contest you, you're up here in a vulnerable position. You need to be strong here. If someone comes to tackle you, this is what that's sort of mimicking, as well as improving our biomechanics and connecting those sling patterns up. That's what we want to work on here. All right, so the other variation that you can do, which is going to, again, take away and just be a bit more isolated to that sling pattern without the step, is you can just do a bilateral stance. So standing here, feet hip width apart, we're rotating, so rib cage rotated towards the opposite side.
Yeah, nice.
And as we punch, we rotate through the other way. So take note of where the rib cage is going here. So my shoulder is not just punching straight out. So come back around the front, Leo. So I'm not just doing this and keeping my chest there. So my sternum rotates towards Darcy, and it goes away from Darcy.
Yeah,
and
nice.
the shoulder comes straight through.
Yep.
So the rib cage rotates away. I'll wind up that sling here and punch through.
Really healthy for functioning shoulders is a rib cage that isn't stuck and compressed. Yeah, so if our shoulders are having to make up, our scapula is having to make up our flexion and our abduction because our rib cage is so compressed and locked off, then we're going to end up with problems. So if you've got shoulder problems, get the rib cage rotating. Yeah, get the diaphragm filled with air, get the lungs filled with air, get the diaphragm moving. Yeah, so this is a really good one for shoulder health as well as that sort of like more functional focused sport related training as well. Yeah,
even pain like around the back of the shoulder blade, you get that constant niggle in the shoulder blade in the upper back. This is great for getting that rib cage, that thoracic spine where so many people are locked and they're just doing pressing movements where they're not actually moving through here. So if you're someone that's getting that constant pain in the mid-back, this would be a great exercise. Because if you
come around here, Leo, just show us these two and you can see what he's talking about.
Press, so we're rotating, those muscles are starting to go through a different pattern to what they're normally exposed to. So normally you'll just do a press or a row where your shoulders stay in the same plane, but you can see that rib cage starts to rotate and move in a different pattern, which helps to break those knots and those tension points up that get stuck in the body.
It's all about stagnation versus flow. Yeah, if you're stagnant and sitting here all day, imagine stretched, long, taut muscles compared to movement of those muscles and activation and blood flowing through that area. Yeah, it's all about the blood vessels getting through the muscles rather than them being stagnant and becoming adhesive and getting knots and sore points.
That's why we do these workouts that progress into more function. You can build the strength with the press and the rows and that type of thing, but you need to progress into functional because that's what keeps your body moving, keeps your tissues hydrated. They're not just getting stuck in the one pattern. And this is where you don't need to, we don't promote massive amounts of stretching and static stretching and that type of thing because through your movement, that should help to elongate tissues and then contract and move them through. So if you're doing good quality movement patterns, those tissues shouldn't get too tight. And then you might just need to do some self-release or go and see a practitioner to release those tight spots. But you shouldn't get the chronic tightness in those tissues because they should be taking through length and then they're moving and you're not just isolating the one muscle that gets overworked.
That's it, man.
All right, so now we're going to progress on to some med ball throws, which are more explosive, more plyometric, a bit more, power out of your chest. Chest throw, starting in that same step press position, and as he rotates, he's going to step his other leg forward, so he produces that power through the sling. That's it. So start load up, and step as you press. That's it, Darcy. Good. So he's trying to produce with this one shoulder more predominantly, and he's loading up using those same sling patterns that we've done before, but we're trying to produce power through this exercise. So the others have been more of a strength and more of a connection thing. Now this is producing that as a power exercise. Good, Darcy. Throw it as hard as you can. Rotate and press. Good, man. Really load up. This one gasses you a bit. So you only need to do 5 reps because we want, again, that power out of the muscles. We don't want them to go into too much fatigue. It's more trying to get that pure performance. So we load up here and throw.
There's no hiding on this one either, yes. So that left arm throw that we challenged with, starting with our right, or if you're a left-hander, it might be a right-hand throw. So it's really syncing up our asymmetries, yeah? Trying to become as symmetrical and as balanced as we can.
And the opposite side.
Yeah, so here's the unco side for Jace. Doesn't look unco, does it? Done these before.
Load up and throw.
That's the opposite hand.
So load up, we rotate through here, and then we produce the force.
Nice.
So we're not just throwing like this.
Yeah.
You're getting that torso involved, rotating, like we've practiced in the previous exercises. So load up here and throw.
Good.
One more. Load up, coil into this glute. This is what we're aiming to do. Glute, throws out the shoulder.
Beautiful, Jason.
All right. So you can do 4 to 5 sets of that. Have a bit longer in between.
Yep.
Because again, we're not necessarily working into fatigue with this particular exercise. It's more working that pure power that you need to do. You can also increase the weight and use less reps.
Yep.
And just pure bang.
Strength and speed is what complements power, right? So we're not looking to endurance stuff and fatigue, where we're doing 20 to 30 reps and just going for as many as we can. It's pace, how fast you can move through motion, and how strong, yeah? So that's what power is.
Yeah, the reason we've done it in this order is exactly what Darcy just spoke about. So we've built the strength, we've built a bit of the connection between the body, and now we're producing it as the power. So you've done your reps and your more high intensity, more strength work here. Now you're producing it as force.
Method to his madness.
And the last exercise is just to finish with a bit of a gasser for the upper body, which is a wall smash. So chuck that ball down, Darcy. I'll give you a hard one here.
Yep.
So this one gets hard pretty quick. So we're going to do 20 reps of this one, Darcy. So the wall smash, so the ball coils back, so you want something that's springy, and he's really getting a bit of a chest pump to finish.
We'll do 30.
Oh, 30. So again, this is just to finish the chest off a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
It seems easy, but gets hard pretty quick. And again, you're teaching yourself you've got to absorb the force of the ball and then push it back the opposite way.
Yep.
Get a bit of coordination in there.
Yep.
And again, you can feel if one hand's a bit stronger than the other.
Exercise is key, guys. Look at the posture of his neck, how strong his cervical muscles look as well, yeah?
Yeah, so the key is to not resort to postures where you're like this. You stay in that strong posture. Slight bend in the knees, slight bend in the hips so you can absorb forces.
Neck long.
It's almost in that squat press position, but we're just more isolating the upper body to finish.
Oh, feel pumped. How many rounds of that do we do, Jace?
So yeah, you might do 4 to 5 sets on each of the exercises. Each side, if you're doing the cable press and the step throws. And then yeah, the bilateral side, you can do 5 sets or 4 sets, depending on where you're at. But yeah, leave yourself some room to build up. But yeah, there's a workout that we would typically do to build our upper body. And yeah, as you can see by Darcy, it works pretty well. So give it a go, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, that was good.